Well, it's finally here. I know everybody is excited to get the season going, and I know I am. It's always exciting to get this first week here. This seems like it's been an extra long camp for whatever reason, so really glad to get to game week. I'm excited to see our team play. Just looking forward to seeing where we are. You can only get so far from an evaluation standpoint in practice, and at some point you got to go play and kind of take that next step in the evaluation of just where you are, and then grow and make adjustments as you go throughout the year. But this is one of the best teams in the country in Georgia, and seeing how we match up against them, this early in the season is going to be something that I'm anxious to see. They're very well coached. Coach Rick's been there forever, and he's as good as there is in the business, that's for sure. Got a great staff, and they're very talented. They are very, very talented. They've recruited at a high level. So the opener is always very difficult. Every single year, it really doesn't matter who you play. The opener is difficult because it's, you got more time to prepare for one game than you do, any game the rest of the year, because you got all spring, all summer to prepare for this opponent. But the bigger challenge is there's just so many unknowns because you don't have any video evidence of really who this team is like you normally do when you're playing. At least whoever we play next week, we'll have at least a game. We'll have some video evidence of who they are. And as you go throughout the season, you can see an identity of a team, and we don't really have that opportunity because obviously it's a new year, new team. We can look at last year and all that kind of stuff, but you never really know until you go play. So there's a lot of unknowns, and then when you throw in the fact that it's a great opponent, a very talented opponent like Georgia, and where they've had a lot of changes as well, it makes it even more difficult. So huge challenge for sure. Offensively, they don't have any changes as far as their staff or necessarily what they do, to our knowledge. But they're the biggest thing that when you look at Georgia and what they do offensively, they're probably as balanced as any team in the country. They do a great job of creating balance and from a play calling standpoint, and it makes it difficult. Makes it difficult to defend them. They've got obviously a new quarterback replacing Aaron Murray, but 14 for them. He played a good bit last year. He's a senior. He's got some confidence, and he's blessed to have some really good skilled guys outside. His top two leading receivers are back. They've got outstanding tight ends, and then we all know what they got in the backfield. I mean, these are some big-time NFL players that are playing in college in that backfield. So, that they do a good job of obviously mixing the run and the pass, and again creating the balance that I think allows them to be successful. Defensively, they got a lot of veterans coming back, but there's so many unknowns with them. We're going to have to do a great job in the flow of the game of making good adjustments and doing a really good job of communication from an offensive standpoint. Got a bunch of guys back that have played for them, but it's an entirely different staff. And so, you think but you never really know until you go play. And again, until you get 3 or 4 games of video evidence of who they are. They've got some dynamic players, some guys up front, 89 and 58. Those guys have really played well for them. I think 84 and 59, Floyd and Jenkins are 2 of the best players in the country. I don't think there's any question about it. I think they're going to use them in a lot of different ways with their pressure packages. You'll see those guys were, leaders in the team in sacks last year, tackles for loss, and that's because they do a good job of bringing them off the edges and mixing them in with their blitz packages. So really, really good football players at the linebacker position for them. In the secondary, they've moved a lot of guys around, but they do have some veteran guys, in most positions. They got, I think, maybe a freshman that they might start at one safety position. They got a JUCO kid that came in that seems to be a guy that they're talking a lot about, who's an outstanding player in the state of Georgia we know about. And then Swan is a great player over at the other corner. So, they got a bunch of guys over there. The big thing for us offensively is just ball security and and getting them targeted, because if we're going backwards with sacks and tackles for loss, it's a long day in Athens, that's for sure. So, be important that we get them dialed in early. Special teams, they've got a first-team All-SEC kicker in 13. He's back. They got 2 punters that they feel really, really good about. Both those guys, both of them have punted a lot for them. And we all know they got speed as far as the return game goes. So, first goal is really what it is. Every year I talk to you guys about our first goals, always try to win the opener. But that's really all it is. Hopefully we can go down there and come out of the gates and play a high level of football. I think our team has prepared well in camp. We're relatively healthy, and they're excited to play. But this is, again, a big challenge to go down to Athens and do the things that we got to do to win the game. But looking forward to the opportunity.